Hey, it's Bits of the Past Gaming coming back at you for another video. Wanted to add to the last video that I made about my childhood games that I grew up playing. And this one I forgot to add NHL 94 for Sega Genesis. Amazing game. Spent countless hours playing this. I still play this to this day. Really fun. Think of the best hockey game ever made. So if you haven't tried it out, I highly recommend it. Whether you're a hockey fan or not, this game is phenomenal. The best hockey game. But on to today's video, which is some of my favorite games of all time. I'm going to go through from the oldest to the newest systems of my favorite games. This is not a complete list, but this is a lot of my favorite games that I've had the most fun playing and spent the most time on. I will make more videos. This is just part one because I have many more games that I consider my favorites. But this is the first video and the first group. So we'll start with my favorite console of all time, Sega Genesis. And we'll start with Streets of Rage 2. The best brawler game, side-scrolling brawler game ever made. My opinion and a lot of other people's opinions. The music, the atmosphere, the gameplay, everything on this game was absolutely incredible. Best beat 'em up game to be made. So if you haven't played this, I highly, highly, highly recommend going out and getting this. It is incredible. Next, we have a cult classic, ToeJam and Earl, also on Sega Genesis. Me and my brother and friends spent countless hours playing this. This game is another game that is really good. It's funky. The flavor, the feel, the music, everything is just perfect for this game. And that is why this game is highly sought after still. And it's getting up there in price now because for some reason Genesis is starting to become more collectible and the prices of the games are starting to rise. Whereas before everyone just wanted Super Nintendo and regular Nintendo, but now they realize Genesis has a lot to offer and there's a lot of good games on there. And I've noticed the prices going up on these games. Got this for a really good deal. Another game that is a must play. A lot of people, it might be split on whether you like the gameplay or not, but it's worth a try regardless. Very fun game. Even better if you play with another person. I highly recommend it. Next, we have Resident Evil. Not much to say about Resident Evil. Everyone knows it's a great franchise. Great game. A lot of people complain about the tank controls, but I think it adds to the atmosphere and the suspense and everything. Just a really well done game. The music, the layout of the mansion, and all the other parts of the game. Just a really well done game. They made a remaster of this. You can download it on Xbox One and PS4, I believe. So if you don't feel like going out and getting the old game, I highly recommend the new one because the remaster is really done well as well, and just a really fun game. I love the puzzles of it, the action, the scares, just a really good game. Some fantastic cheesy lines from this, like the opening scene. Highly recommend it. One of my favorite games ever. Probably in the top 5. Next we have Twisted Metal 2, also on PlayStation 1. I cannot tell you the amount of times we spent playing this. Very, very fun game. Even better with multiple players. The deathmatch arenas, really, really fun. Finding all the cheat codes, like to play as Minion and things like that. Really, really fun. And just a really great shoot 'em up car type of game. They've made multiple Twisted Metal games, but this is the best one in my opinion. This is the most fun that I've had playing Twisted Metal. So definitely my favorite character in this was Grasshopper, the little buggy cart type of thing that jumped in the air. Really fun. Highly recommend. Next, we go up to the PS2 and Silent Hill 2. Probably the best survival horror game ever made. It's incredible. It's creepy as hell. It delivers on all aspects of what you would want out of a survival horror game. Game is really, really fun. I love Silent Hill. I love the premise of the story. I love the characters, everything. Silent Hill, I even like the movies, believe it or not. And just Silent Hill, just a series that I hold dear to my heart. Love it. Definitely have to play it if you haven't already. Next, we have Need for Speed Underground. Need for Speed Underground is my favorite racing game. I love this game. I played many of hours on this game. The things you can do to hook up your car in this are really fun. The racing is fun. I'm not big into simulation type of games, so things like Gran Turismo and Forza don't really appeal to me because they're too realistic. I like the more arcadey style, and this game delivers on all fronts. So definitely, if you haven't played this, pick it up. Need for Speed Underground 2 is also really well done game, but I like the original the best. Next, we stay with the PS2. We have Champions of Norath. Very fun game, and I'm going to hold up these other ones because they're all pretty much the same game. So Champions of Norath series and the Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance games, very, very similar. Just a little bit different creatures and levels and everything, but played pretty much the same. I have to say that I'm a little bit more of a fan of the Dark Alliance series, but Champions of Norath is an excellent game as well. Very fun for a dungeon crawling Diablo type game on console. Really, really good. The cool thing about these games, I believe both of them let you play the first game through and then import your character from the first time, and you can import it into the second game, so you can continue as the same character that you were playing in the first, which was really a really cool thing. So highly recommend. Get a hold of that, play it. Next we go to last generation, and that would be Xbox 360, Call of Duty 4. Call of Duty 4, not much to say. Everyone knows this game revolutionized shooting, the first-person shooter. This created millions upon millions of fans of first-person shooters. This game was excellently done, really fun to play. The campaign, the online is where it shined, but the campaign was fun, and it was just a revolutionary game from the time. I probably don't have to tell you to try it because you probably already have, but incredible. Modern Warfare 2 was also good, but Call of Duty 4 was the best, in my opinion. Next, we have Saints Row 2. Saints Row 2 is my favorite open world Grand Theft Auto Saints Row style game. Spent countless hours playing this. I love the story, how goofy it is. Just a fun play. And free roaming is fun as well, because it's, like I said, it's not taken seriously. It was pretty much a spoof of Grand Theft Auto, but it grew into its own series. So definitely, if you haven't played Saints Row 2, you need to get a hold of it and play it, because it is a really fun game and one of my favorites. Next, we have for 360 We have Spec Ops: The Line. In my 360 collection video, I discussed this game and said that it was a hidden gem. Not too many people gave it enough respect and didn't bother playing it. But if you do play it, and most people that I know that have played it end up loving it because it's just a very fun game, engaging story. The story will play on your emotions if you give it the chance and give it the time. And just a very fun game. I've played through this game probably 2 or 3 times already, and I plan on playing through it again. Just a fun third-person shooter with a great story. Really good. Definitely need to play it. One of my favorites. Next we have Tomb Raider. And the new Tomb Raiders were a reboot of the classic Tomb Raiders, and it was done very well. These games were incredible. This and The Rise of the Tomb Raider, both excellent games. Definitely need to play them if you haven't already. It's really cool to see how Lara Croft became who she was in the Tomb Raider series, the original games. And definitely a game that you can get really cheap right now, and it's really fun to play. Next, we have Uncharted 4 and the Uncharted series. Now, all the games that I'm listing, I'm talking about the series, not necessarily the best game in the series, although I picked what I think is the best game in every series. But Uncharted 4 was really good. Enjoyed every minute of it. Definitely something that you need to play through, although I must say that Uncharted 3 had the most engaging story to me personally. I like that storyline a lot better, but this game, the story in this was good too. It's just the number 3, it was something that I really enjoyed the story on. But this game improved on the controls and gameplay, and the story was really solid, so definitely want to check that out. And then the last game that I picked for this is XCOM, and this is XCOM 2, but XCOM Enemy Unknown and XCOM Enemy Within were both excellent games as well, and these are some of my favorite games ever, probably in the top 5, only because it's a strategy based combat game. It's turn-based. I love turn-based games. I love strategy. I love the games that make you think and make you work hard to achieve your goal. And this game definitely does that. You have to meticulously decide how you're going to go about completing each mission, and there are consequences if you don't execute it properly. You will lose soldiers in this, or they will get injured, and just a great strategy game. You must pick this up. It's incredible. The storyline on this one is the best of the 3 also. It's really cool how the aliens take over and you have to win back planet Earth. Just an awesome game. So those are the games. Some of my favorite games ever. And there'll be more videos to come because there's a ton more games that I really love and a lot more games that you'll want to play if you haven't already. So stay tuned. One love.